First at noon, as thousands more federal employees lose their jobs, Elon Musk is defending his team's cuts to the government. Meanwhile, around the world, allies are denouncing the new U.S. tariffs, which are scheduled to go into effect next week. And an American delegation got the cold shoulder in Greenland today amid President Trump's push to take over the territory. Vaughn Hilliard reports from Washington.
Agreement regarding
President Trump pushing ahead with his America First agenda, with Vice President J.D. Vance and National Security Advisor Michael Waltz in Greenland. Trump has said repeatedly he wants to take over the island territory.
We need Greenland, very importantly, for international security.
The trip comes amid scrutiny over the Signal Group, where the country's top defense and intelligence officials, including Vance and Waltz, discussed an attack on Houthi rebels hours before the attack happened.
We are standing behind our entire national security team.
Waltz took responsibility for creating the group chat and adding a journalist to the group. Two Republican sources tell NBC News that President Trump is privately angry with Waltz, and a federal judge now ordering the officials in the chat to preserve the messages.
Many countries have taken advantage of us.
The president's 25% tariff on cars and parts imported to the U.S. is set to be enforced next Wednesday. Today, he spoke on the phone with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney.
We had a very good conversation.
But the Prime Minister saying afterwards he will impose retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods the same day next week.
We are civil servants and we'll always be here for the general public, whatever they need.
Former Department of Education employees clearing out desks today as 10,000 workers at Health and Human Services prepare to get cut.
President Trump was giving me free rein to do anything I need to do to make America healthy again.
The man behind the cuts, billionaire Elon Musk, appearing for the first time with members of his Department of Government Efficiency on Fox News. DOJ has cut programs and contracts at almost all federal agencies.
We feel confident that a 15% reduction can be done without affecting any of the critical government services.
And student-led protests are ramping up around the country after the administration went through with the detention of international college students who the administration has accused of social activism. Now, this is as the administration has appealed to the Supreme Court to allow them to deport some certain migrants under the Alien Enemies Act, even without due process. Vaughn Hilliard, NBC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, Governor Josh Green sounded off on CNN about the impacts the cuts at the Department of Health and Human Services will have on Americans.
Are you even able to tell what that means if HHS loses 25% of its workforce in the next days?
Yeah, it's a disaster. It's public health malpractice on the part of RFK Jr. and the DOJ team. It's going to cause loss of life in our state and in Kansas and in Texas and wherever else disease spreads. It's outrageous. And these guys don't know anything about healthcare. Nothing. RFK Jr. knows nothing about public healthcare. He's got no training. He's got no experience. And it was bad enough that he cast doubt and spread misinformation about vaccinations, but now he's taking away the tools from we governors and directors of health and other health professionals. He's taking away those tools for us to keep our people safe. And I don't know why anyone would let him do this.
Now, Governor Green has been a vocal critic of RFK Jr. He said his anti-vaccine rhetoric led to the measles outbreak in Samoa that killed 83 children. Kennedy said he had no influence in Samoa. The FAA is now investigating what forced a small plane to go down near a Kunia golf course yesterday. Part of its propeller crashed into a home, narrowly missing the people inside. The propeller came from a small Piper PA-28 aircraft that was flying over the area around noon yesterday. The two men on board, 22 and 38 years old, eventually landed in an open field between Royal Kunia and the Wheeler Army Airfield. They were both able to get out on their own. One of them was taken to a hospital in serious condition. The homeowners were not injured, but Bob Steen says his wife was in the kitchen cutting a pineapple and went to offer him some when just seconds before the propeller smashed through the roof.
It's like, what the is that? It's a propeller. Man, there's stuff out there trying to kill you every day of your life, you know, and you do what you can and try to stay safe, but every once in a while you get the wake-up call that, oh yeah, luck's still involved. You know, I'm just happy everyone's safe.
It's unclear exactly what caused the plane to go down at this time, but federal teams have already started examining the new aircraft. A Maui doctor's wife pleaded with a stranger for help, allegedly after her husband tried to kill her on an Oahu hiking trail. That was revealed in court documents as 46-year-old Gerhard Koenig appeared in court for the first time yesterday. According to those documents, Koenig tried to poke his wife Ariel with syringes and banged her head with a rock after she refused to take a selfie near the edge of the trail. When another hiker arrived, Ariel told her, quote, "He's trying to kill me. He's hitting me in the head with a rock." Ariel was hospitalized in serious condition. Her friends are stunned.
He was like so warm and welcoming, and I didn't have I was kind of starting over, and she was so kind. I'm just so sad that this happened.
Gerhard Koenig was arrested after an hours-long manhunt. His preliminary hearing is set for March 31st. Bail was confirmed at $5 million. The man accused of firing gunshots in Waikiki earlier this month is now on house arrest after posting $100,000 bond. Nacelo Nathan entered a non-guilty plea in circuit court Thursday morning. The 19-year-old is charged with reckless endangering and firearms offenses. His trial is scheduled for May. Well, for the third year in a row, Honolulu Mayor Rick Blangiardi is holding town hall meetings across Oahu. He started last night with an area that has had some controversies in the past, West Oahu, including Waianae and Ewa Beach. Ben Gutierrez was there.
Mayor Rick Blangiardi's first town hall meeting of the year drew a standing room only crowd, a half hour before it even began.
Thank you, sir.
The former football coach was already working the crowd beforehand, saying it was like getting ready for game day.
I can promise you this, I will not leave until we've answered every single question to the best of our ability.
He asked for a civil conversation and mostly got it. He also promised to get to as many topics as possible. A big one on the minds of West Side residents, the recent chaos caused by e-bikes in Ewa Beach, in which a 16-year-old was arrested and police cars were damaged.
You've got people who are trying to get a rally together for bicycles, claim that there was only supposed to be 20 and there's 200 people.
One resident says he's even seen the e-bikes wreaking havoc on the H1.
Had about 20 of these e-bike riders on the freeway, popping wheelies and going back and forth on the freeway, shutting down the traffic.
The city has new laws requiring helmets and classifying wheelies as reckless driving. But the police chief also says a lot of the responsibility lies with the parents of young riders.
But I really ask the parents for your kuleana in taking care of your keiki and not letting them ride these things in a manner that's inappropriate. And you got to take charge because you're the first responder before we can get called to get out there on the streets.
There are also continuing concerns about homeless lining the Waianae coast.
And I've never seen the homeless in a needy situation so bad. On our side of the island, we're not doing enough. When I say we, it's the city, it's the state, it's all of us.
Right. And remember this exchange from a year ago?
Why isn't the community doing more? The police can't do everything.
That's right, sir.
So why don't you guys deal with it?
Austin Salcido was back, this time to ask the mayor to look into a proposed youth transitional housing facility in Makaha that he says is opposed by neighboring residents.
You had asked me last year, what can you do, you and your community can do? I tell you what, we have seen this thing, and we've been following through. We have gone through your city protocols. I ask of you, Mayor, if you can please look into this personally.
Okay, we will. I promise
personally.
you.
The mayor has 6 more town halls scheduled around the island through June. In Nanakuli, Ben Gutierrez, Hawaii News Now.
Well, you made it to the weekend, everybody. Let's take a look outside. We've got overall easterly and southeasterly flow across the bulk of the island chain. Weak winds out there, somewhat breezy over near Kauai. In town, 10 miles per hour out of the south. We're seeing Kona winds. And of course, we've been tracking the VOG forecast very closely out there because we're still seeing hazy and foggy skies outside right now. We might see a little bit of a break over the western end of the state as we're going into Saturday afternoon. But again, we're expecting Kona winds again by the time we get to Monday and Tuesday. So we could see a lot of this VOG that's off to our south and southwest moving back up towards the rest of the island chain. Of course, we've got those southerly and southeasterly winds. I'll give you a further breakdown of what's causing this. And we're tracking a low pressure system that could bring more rain next week. I'll give you the details coming up.
Thank you, Drew. At least 150 people are dead and more than 700 injured after a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck Southeast Asia this morning. Crews in Myanmar and neighboring Thailand are searching for survivors under the rubble of collapsed buildings. Tina Kraus takes us there.
Rescue teams in Thailand used headlamps and their bare hands to comb through this collapsed building in Bangkok into the night. The 30-story skyscraper that was under construction barreled to the ground Friday after a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake rattled the region.
The most important thing is, how to rescue those people. It's a great tragedy.
At this high-rise hotel, water from a rooftop pool gushed over the sides as the building shook. American Deborah Poonmache was relaxing in her Bangkok home at the time.
I was in my lazy boy and all of a sudden it moved back and forth and then it toppled over and I hit my head on the table.
The quake was centered across the border in Myanmar near the country's second largest city, Mandalay, reducing mosques and other structures to rubble. People at this airport ran for cover as portions of the ceiling came down. This video shows what was left after a bridge standing for 90 years crumbled into the river. Amid the devastation, Myanmar's military regime made a rare appeal for international assistance.
The United Nations system is mobilizing to help those in need.
Both Myanmar and Thailand have declared states of emergency as residents deal with the disaster and brace for potential aftershocks. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Ahead on This Is Now, a shakeup at the Hawaii Tourism Authority as Mufi Hanneman resigns as chair of the board, the reasons he's stepping down, and who's replacing him. Plus, Honolulu EMS unveils a new look to show unity among first responders. Details on this 2-month pilot project. disturbing picture circulating on social media is prompting a warning from state wildlife officials. We're blurring the image due to its graphic nature. Now, an anonymous user posted this photo showing a dead turtle with its shell ripped off, insinuating it was discovered at Howe Bush in Eva Beach. However, DLNR says they can't verify when or where the photo was taken since it was not directly reported to them, an issue that will make prosecution difficult. Instead of posting online, officials are urging the public to use the free DLNR Tip app to report any violations, animal deaths, or injuries. You can also call the number on your screen. The chair of the Hawaii Tourism Authority Board, Mufi Hanneman, resigned yesterday, but will remain on the board.
I don't think we need a vote. If you want to vote, because I'm stepping down, effective immediately as board chair. So, floor is yours.
It comes after fellow board members questioned Hanneman about events held at the Hawaii Convention Center for two nonprofits he oversees. Documents show both events were billed to HTA. Hanneman told us in a statement that at no time did he ask for favorable treatment or freebies, and that the state auditor found no fraud. Todd Apo, the CEO of nonprofit Iole, was selected as the new HTA board chair. Starting Monday, Honolulu EMS personnel will wear new dark blue uniforms instead of the traditional white. 19 paramedics and EMTs will try out the new clothing as part of a 2-month pilot project. The color is similar to HPD and HFD uniforms, plus stretchier, cooler, and more lightweight. It also has reflective trim and UV protection.
More like a sport kind of uniform, and so for squatting down, getting into real difficult, uncomfortable positions, it's incredible how these uniforms feel.
Having the same uniform as our public safety partners will further demonstrate that we are really truly one team dedicated to take care of your health and safety needs on an emergent basis.
EMS estimates it will cost $300,000 to outfit all personnel. Hey, Drew.
Hey, Ashley, stick around. Coming up after the break, I'll give you a look at our first alert weather headlines. We've got light winds and foggy skies continuing and a better chance for rainfall next week.
Alert weather with Drew Davis.
You made it to the weekend, everybody. Let's take a look at our First Alert weather headlines. Light winds and foggy skies are expected over the next couple of days. Really overall easterly and southeasterly flow across the entire island chain. A little bit more southerly as we go forward into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Breaking down the overall weather pattern, of course, we've been talking about high pressure off to our north. This is one of the reasons we're seeing the overall southeasterly flow across the state. A little bit southerly in town right now, but off to our northwest, that's where our attention is turning. Low pressure is starting to develop over the weekend. It's about 1,000 miles off to our northwest, and it's going to bring a better chance for showers and rainfall next week. It's going to push a frontal boundary towards us as we go forward into early next week. Really, the best chance for rainfall looks to be about Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. A better chance for rainfall over the western end of the state. We'll also see Kona winds ahead of the front. That's the reason we're actually expecting some of the fog to make a return as we're going into the beginning of next week. And this forecast is going to evolve, so check back with us often. Again, just taking a quick look at our fog forecast going forward, you can see a little bit of a break over for Kauai and Oahu as we're going into Saturday afternoon, but still high concentrations of fog and the sulfur dioxide over near Hawaii Island and over near Maui County as well. So we're going to be updating this throughout the rest of this evening, so make sure to check back with us as we get more data in from UH Manoa. You can see as we're going forward in town, southerly winds around 10 miles per hour. Here's your island by island forecast. Kauai, mostly sunny and hazy out there. East/southeasterlies across a majority of the island chain. 85 in town, 82 for a high in Kaunakakai tomorrow. A little bit foggy out there as well. 84 in Kahului, 84 in Kihei. And moving over to Hawaii Island, mostly sunny and foggy as well. 84 in Kona. And then spinning over to the Hilo side, 82 for a high temperature. Scattered showers and mostly sunny conditions and partly sunny conditions on the northern portions of Hawaii Island. Your surf and shoreline forecast out there, north-facing shores around 3 to 5 feet. Seeing a small pulse, south-facing shores small, east-facing shores small as well. Your First Alert 7-day forecast, mahalo to Wes for sending in that background photo. Again, fog is expected over the next couple of days, Saturday and Sunday. A little bit sunny, going to be warm going forward.
Hey, happy Wild Friday, everyone. Davis Kyle in the Digital Center with your weekly sports update. Kyle, we got to talk about baseball. Hawaii baseball had a huge win against Hawaii Hilo, 9-8, close game. These guys are on a roll.
Yeah, these guys are definitely on a roll, Davis. And we have to remind you, in case you forgot, this Hilo game came after a full weekend of baseball, a 3-game series against UC Davis. And I see Davis right here next to me.
Best name school.
Just wanted to make that pun. But anywho, UC Davis, they get the series sweep Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then on Tuesday, they played Hawaii Hilo. Like you said, the final score 9-8. Interesting thing about that game is obviously they rested a lot of their starting lineup for regulation. It wasn't until the extra innings where they started to put in a little bit more starters to close out that game. But that game was a lot of rotating players and some reserve players that got to play an entire game at the less. And it went down to the 10th inning to win 9-8.
A lot of excitement right there. They're
absolutely
doing really well. And something else that's very exciting going on is OIA girls flag football. The season is underway. Lots of excitement recently. Kyle, you were there for the opening day of the season.
Yeah, opening day was super fun. Like you said, OIA started this week on Tuesday, and the ILH and some of the outer island leagues were starting up last week, their regular seasons. But OIA, obviously the biggest league in the state, they got started on Tuesday. Looking at some of these scores, it's such a new sport. It's kind of hard to see who's who, right? Who's going to end up at the top of the state when it comes to the state tournament, which is set for May.
Well, it's going to be fun, and something else that is fun and actually going to be a new season starting is HNN Overtime.
Yeah.
Hosted by Kyle and Sienna. Stay tuned for those two as they kick off the new season of our podcast.
But that does mean, if you did notice, he only mentioned me and Sienna. That being said, if you watched our last episode of Overtime, our dear friend Davis Pittner is moving on to greener pastures and going off to get that new opportunity.
You know, of course, it's been a lot of fun doing these sports updates with you and keeping you guys informed on what's going around on the island. So, Kyle, it's been fun.
It has been fun.
You know, happy Aloha Friday, everyone. Once again, for Kyle and I, have a great weekend.
We're going to miss you, Davis, but you can always come back if you want. All right, still to come, honoring King Kamehameha III. We'll take you to the lei draping ceremony for the longest reigning Hawaiian monarch in 2 minutes.
Well, friends, gather around. It's time for some good news now. A new species of anglerfish was discovered by UH oceanographers, has been named among the top 10 remarkable new marine species of 2024. Anglerfish use a bioluminescent bait that extends over their head. This specific anglerfish also has a secondary non-light-bearing bait, something never discovered before. It was collected in the Clarion-Clipperton zone southeast of Hawaii. And a ceremony was held today to honor the longest reigning Hawaiian monarch.
Beautiful lei were draped on the King Kamehameha III statue at Thomas Square. The annual tradition recognizes Kamehameha's lasting impact, including the establishment of the Honolulu Fire Department, the oldest fire department west of the Mississippi River. He also established Hawaii's public school system back in 1840, shaping the future of education in the islands. The lei draping ceremony serves as a tribute to his enduring legacy.
As we drape flowers upon his statue, though he has long passed from this earthly realm, his legacy continues to inspire and continues to guide us. We thank you for his life, his leadership, his enduring impact on the people here of Hawaii.
In 1846, King Kamehameha III also established the Great Mahele and distributed the lands of Hawaii.
And thank you for joining us. Those lei look absolutely beautiful.
I know, great ceremony.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for watching, everyone. More news first at 4 right here on KHNL. Happy Aloha Friday.